Hey guys, what's going on? So we just decided to do a last minute video right now about this news that we just got today, February the 20th. It appears that Lauren Cohan has not re-signed her contract for season 9, but more worryingly, actually has signed a contract to be the lead role of a pilot that's coming up, called Whiskey Cavalier. We all know what happened the last time that a similar situation like this happened. It was the Sneakwin Barton Green situation. She signed the deal to be on Star Trek, and then all these misdirect tweets started coming out. Oh, it's not going to interfere with The Walking Dead. And I called bullshit, and then sure enough, she died at the end of the season.
Well, I believe that they were planning on killing Sasha's character off, and Sneakwin knew that, and she just locked up another deal to not be unemployed. It's my personal opinion. I don't know that for a fact, but as far as I know, there's been no plans to kill off Maggie. According to comicbook.com, it's more of an issue of them AMC not giving Lauren Cohan and her people the right number for her contract.
Which is, it's kind of becoming a recurring theme, unfortunately, with AMC and particularly this show. I mean, this is like the 5th or 6th time that AMC has had a major PR problem because of supposedly not paying somebody what they were owed. They're in the middle of a Supreme Court lawsuit with Frank Darabont over this very issue. And then, the whole thing with Chandler happened like a month ago with him not being able to get enough money. And then there's lots of other internet rumors about other actors being upset that they're not getting paid. I mean, it seems like it's kind of adding up now, I find it hard to believe that there isn't something to it just with the sheer magnitude of amounts of people who are on board. I mean, 4 other executive producers got on that lawsuit too. Kirkman's on it. What is her name? I always forget her name. She's an executive producer.
Gail Ann Hurd.
Yes, thank you. And then,
I love Gail.
Yeah, she's on that too, and it just seems like AMC is kind of garnering a reputation as a network that doesn't pay their people.
They're becoming the Monique of networks. No, I'm kidding.
And so it worries me because this is not good for the show. I mean, we've already had this happen once with an actor this year. If it were to happen again...
That was more his father. The sad part of that was that it was probably more his father than Chandler himself complaining.
I agree with that.
Frankly, to be perfectly honest, just from a story standpoint, it would make a lot more sense for Maggie to have been reckless and get bit or killed or whatever than it would have made for Carl getting bitten and essentially killed. If I had to believe, if I had to find which one's more plausible, which character would be so dumb. Maggie's just been kind of loosey-goosey with how she runs things and how she goes out into battle, especially for a pregnant lady who's had complications pregnant lady. Yeah. So if I had to buy a character randomly dying off from their own
stupidity,
Maggie would be the perfect candidate of all the lead characters, honestly.
The other thing that worries me, that's valid.
I would say Daryl's probably get other people killed.
Yeah. Good point. I think the main thing that kind of worries me about this is that it's not so much the idea of her getting killed off. It's 2 other pieces of collateral damage that are going to happen as a result of that. If that baby doesn't get born, I think everybody needs Glenn's baby to be born. It's the last thing that it's the last representation of him in any way.
I thought Glenn said we live on as long as we don't forget the people. So as long as somebody remembers Glenn, which Rick will always.
I don't think the audience is going to accept that. I certainly wouldn't accept that. I mean, that to me, if Glenn died because they were trying to get Maggie through the forest to get that baby help.
Season 9 is unwritten. It's entirely possible that they'll do a time jump and Maggie's baby will be born, but she died in childbirth. They'll probably do something like that if it comes down to it.
I can see that. I mean, it's just the whole point of why Glenn died was because they were trying to get that baby help. If he dies and then the baby doesn't even get born, it makes Glenn's death and Abraham's death completely pointless.
I just had from a totally fanficky point, my brain just does this sometimes so random, but remember on the trail the the RV and Maggie was passing around the ultrasound photo, and then there's this lingering shot of Michonne holding the photo. Like, it's totally possible season 9 could open with Michonne holding that baby.
Yeah, possibly. That's the other thing that like bothers me. Okay, so that the first one that bothered me was Glenn's baby.
Yeah.
The second one is like, because season 8 has already been shot, right?
Yes.
If she's not going to return for season 9, that is like a writing disaster. I mean, it's going to be a scramble to try and make any sense of that whatsoever.
Well, I just said how they can make sense of it.
Yeah,
she died in
but
childbirth.
It's still very abrupt, and it's still just kind of like...
Well, no, if it's between, like, after a whole summer and they don't come back till October and they do a time jump, like...
maybe.
I think, and I love Maggie, but I think in terms of what character loss would actually kill the show, there's only 4. And you guys already know. Rick, Michonne, Daryl, Carol. If one of those people were to go, I don't think the show would survive that. Yeah. And it's no offense to any of the other characters. I just think in terms of fan base and in terms of that's just where the real power is. And then in addition to that, Daryl and Carol there since season 1, albeit not necessarily episode 1 for Daryl anyway, and Michonne being Rick's that's his one. I was trying to think of an appropriate word, and wife was not appropriate. It was not appropriate enough for what I was trying to convey. So it would really suck. There's a way to work around it with some very clever writing. I think Angela Kang could pull it off if she had to. We don't know yet, but it is really not looking good. Yeah. And then a Star Trek series is a guaranteed green light, even if the numbers suck.
Yeah.
But this whole Whiskey Cavalier, it's unclear to me. Scott Foley was on Scandal. It's not clear to me if this is a Scandal spinoff. What network is this going to be on? Whiskey Cavalier. I'm sorry, not Cavalier Whiskey.
You know what? I don't even know.
So they don't even say what network it's on. If it's ABC,
it's ABC.
All right, I'm going to go ahead and assume it's a spinoff of Scandal, which means pre-existing audience, which means Shonda Rhimes, which means it probably won't flop. That being said, I'm a little bit surprised, as I know Shonda Rhimes is more partial to interracial pairings, and having Lauren Cohan with Scott Foley to white people doesn't really seem like her deal. I don't know. So I don't know where that's going to go.
Yeah, and the last thing I want to say about it, this is kind of bothering me lately, like with the entertainment industry, is like, it is really unfortunate that business stuff like this is like ruining like art, I mean, like the whole thing that all this stuff is supposed to be about is entertaining people and delivering meaningful messages and stuff that moves people, and it's like, it just seems like a damn shame to me that pureness is getting like ruined because of squabbles over money and contracts and stuff.
Well, I mean,
that's just really unfortunate.
That's true on the one hand, and actors should always care about the craft. However, AMC knows that this show is its juggernaut. This show and Breaking Bad is what made AMC like a household name, right? And it's like, dude.
Mad Men.
Oh yeah, I never watched that show. It's amazing to me that they don't I feel like they're screwing the pooch unnecessarily. Like, they have the money, just give them the money. You have it. You want to keep it going, or quote unquote forever, which obviously we know that's not going to happen, or 20 years, whatever it is. You want to keep it going, just pay your actors, pay them their due. Like, this is season 8 for crying out loud.
I mean,
give them the money.
Yeah, so it's just kind of a bummer for me, I guess. I really hope that it gets resolved, because I'm sick of reading these headlines of like, this actor didn't get enough money and so they're gonna quit the show, and then like the people The people who suffer the most at the end of the day are the audience that made the show popular in the first place.
And the audience will leave one by one if
Yeah,
you don't deliver.
like,
I'm
get it together.
I'm still upset about that Morgan thing. Like, how long is Morgan gonna be gone, and when y'all bringing him back?
I don't know. I mean, that's another weird thing that's like happened this year. Like the Morgan thing,
I understand
Chandler
why
thing.
they did the Morgan thing. I understand.
It's been a weird. Well, yeah. I mean, it's been such a weird year for The Walking Dead because it started at Comic-Con last year with a stuntman dying on set. I mean, how that's horrific.
Actually, I have to say, just out of curiosity, if there was a character that they really wanted to bring like numbers and no disrespect to Morgan or Lenny James, but we all know that eventually they're going to bring Morgan back to The Walking Dead. This is just like a temporary measure to boost Fear the Walking Dead, which is on the brink of death itself. But if in terms of characters and who makes sense to leave, in my personal opinion, we've seen Carol leave before. It would have made more sense for Carol to leave for a little bit and take a walkabout than any other character.
They've kind of both done that though at different points.
Maybe they should have left together.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah,
temporarily.
It's been a really weird year for this show. I mean, I'm glad that I'm not their PR person this year. I mean, it's been a disaster of PR for them. A dead stuntman on set. I mean, how much worse does it get than that last year, right? Then the Morgan thing was not like received well at all when everybody found out about that, and then like Chandler dying. Or Carl dying and Chandler leaving, and then now this. It's like, what is next? Yeah, so it's just been a really weird year for The Walking Dead, and it just seems like it gets weirder and weirder and weirder, and I hope this is the last bad thing that happens to them.
You know what they need to do? They need to bring in a few really amazing guest star appearances or something like that. Like, maybe they could hit up Michael B. Jordan, or Lupita Nyong'o, or Chadwick Boseman. I'm just throwing some random names out there. Basically, they should bring in people from the cast of Black Panther. Y'all.
I like that idea.
I'm just throwing it out there.
Anything else about the Maggie situation?
We don't know if this Whiskey Cavalier is going to be some sort of summer series or not. But so it technically shouldn't be a conflict of filming, but it's against the contract to have another series. So I just question mark. I don't know. I need more information. But it doesn't look good.
As do I. It just looks weird right now. Anyway, if you guys like our content, make sure to subscribe up here in the corner. And also check out the brand new blog, thelivingrishon.com, where we have articles about all this type of stuff that we're following in the fandom. So, as always, thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll talk to you next time. Bye-bye.